wherein Union Home Minister Amit Shah said that the centre will consider revoking the Armed Forces Special Powers Act in Jammu and Kashmir. In an interview to Jammu and Kashmir Media Group, the minister added that the government is planning to pull back troops from the Union Territory and leave law and order to the Jammu and Kashmir police alone. This is the breaking news we are getting right now. We have Arunima joining us on the broadcast to bring us more details. Arunima, this is quite a big step, and if you could just put this into context for our viewers with regards to what the circumstances have been in Jammu and Kashmir over the past few years, with which has now prompted the Union Home Minister to come and make this claim.
See, what he's saying is that it can be considered, and the reason it can be considered is because the overall law and order situation of Jammu and Kashmir has improved over the years. Since 2019, when Article 370 was revoked and 35A was removed, the number of instances of stone pelting in residential areas has gone down. Yes, there are terror attacks which are targeted killings of individuals, but those are being considered as issues for which Army's intervention is not required. What is AFSPA? Armed Forces Special Powers Act essentially is a protection given to the Indian Army, to the Indian Armed Forces, that if they take any action, they will not be prosecutable under India's laws. That's the kind of protection available to them. If AFSPA is removed, essentially what happens is that law and order duties are left to the local police force. Army and armed forces are removed from it. So it is that backdrop in which Home Minister has said this in an interview to a Jammu and Kashmir-based media portal. But what you also have to consider is last time around, there was such consideration at the highest level in North Block last year. And then on 1st of January this year, we saw Rajouri and Poonch really going up. There were a lot of terror attacks there. We lost a number of army men, including para-forces. And then the decision was rolled back. So it's a dynamic situation. What the Home Minister has indicated is that the government is positively inclined to considering it. But like I said, it's a situation which fast develops. And therefore, I think it will be a very well-thought, well-discussed decision as and when it is taken.
Right, Arunima, do stay with us. Right now, we also have Ishan Wani joining us on the broadcast. Ishan, a very good morning to you. Where firstly, you have tracked the entire pulse of the ground there in Jammu and Kashmir over the last few years, and especially over these encounters that Arunima was also mentioning. Help us try and understand what's changed in these recent years with regards to the police force coming into action and taking action very actively with regards to all that's going on at the ground.
The government of the day has empowered Jammu and Kashmir police to carry out its operation more ferociously, and the empowerment is very clear from the fact that not only has Jammu and Kashmir police been given an authority to investigate cases, the agencies like SIA being formed on the lines of NIA locally, so that J&K police gets empowered in terms of investigation of cases, be it the militancy-related cases, be it the narco terror, or any such cases. So that confidence building has been there. But yes, government also would like to believe that because of the considerable decline in the number of youngsters picking up weapons and joining militancy is not there. And at the same time, we haven't seen encounters as frequent as they were like last year or years before that. So that is an indicator that the government wants to think about when they consider about revoking AFSPA. The fact is also that the government is planning about it not immediately. The government wants to plan it in step-by-step method, because every year there's a dynamic review of the situation in the North Block, and the government always takes a review of the situation, annually, and certain times the meetings are called. So that is where the planning and the phase, about discussions about Armed Force Special Powers Act may also be taking place. But yes, the government has been thinking, considering the situation, that there has been a considerable dip in the number of the militancy-related incidents, as tabled in the parliament as well. So considering all those factors, that decline in number of recruitments, the government going on ferociously in terms of trying to tackle the militancy in Kashmir, or those who were funneling of money and helping to these organizations operating on the Indian soil and trying to disseminate them. So that is somewhere where the government thinks that in coming next 5-7 years, there's a plan which they have under which they will try to see the situation. If the situation continues to get better as the government feels right now, the situation over the years has changed, and on the ground, because of the parameters that are showing the situation has changed, they might consider revoking Armed Force Special Powers Act. Remember, when Armed Force Special Powers Act was removed from certain areas of the northeast, the call from Jammu and Kashmir from the political parties was that when it can be revoked there, the situation has improved in Jammu and Kashmir, why not here as well? So yes, the government is considering that, but we'll have to see. It might take time and it might happen in phased manner, because last time, if you recall, the government had said that from certain areas it is possible to remove Armed Force Special Powers Act where the violence has been minimum, and the government will consider that as well.
Right, Ishan. Ishan and Arunima, do stay with us. Right now, we also have SP Vaid joining us, former Jammu and Kashmir DGP joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Vaid, thank you for speaking to us on CNN News 18. A very good morning to you. Very firstly, the comments that's come in from the Union Home Minister at this juncture with regards to removing the AFSPA from Jammu and Kashmir. Do you think Jammu and Kashmir is ready for such a move at this point?
I think the Honorable Home Minister made a statement after having reassessed the whole situation of Jammu and Kashmir, and you know how there's a lot of improvement in situation all over Jammu and Kashmir, and it can happen in phases. It's not difficult. In some of the areas, you start with Jammu division. There are many districts in Jammu where almost there is negligible or absolutely no activity of the terrorist. Like you start with, let's say, Kathua district, Samba, Jammu, maybe Udhampur, Riyasi, districts like this you can start. Not Rajouri and Poonch. It may continue for some time, because you remember there have been terrorist attacks in Rajouri, Poonch. So a beginning can be made, and similarly in Kashmir Valley also, I think slowly we can think of identify areas where there is absolutely no activity of terrorists, and in phased manner, AFSA can be thought of being taken out from Jammu and Kashmir. I think this statement will be welcomed by people of Jammu and Kashmir, by people of all over the country, and I think it's a very welcome move. This will also demonstrate tremendous improvement in situation.
Right, Mr. Vaid. Mr. Vaid, from a purely analytical perspective, since you have been the DGP as well, take us through the journey that Jammu and Kashmir has been through in terms of activities, of militancy activities in Jammu and Kashmir, how they have come down in numbers, and also a comparison of sorts with regards to fake encounters having gone down, or how is the police now going out there to take active action, which shows that they are ready to take over the responsibility.
See, as far as fake encounters are concerned, I think for quite some time now, I think many years now, I have not heard of any such fake encounter being reported, and I think that shows the responsible manner in which the security forces and J&K police are working, and in very coordinated manner. The security grid is very, very strong. We had the upsurge in terrorist activities after Burhan Bani episode. If you recall, in 2016 July, how suddenly the numbers swole into few hundreds, like 300, 400, 500 terrorists operating any given time. Then Operation All Out was started in 2017 together with Army and paramilitary and J&K police, and the terrorist commanders were targeted, how they were one by one targeted, and their numbers came down drastically after operation, and particularly this after abrogation of Article 370, the action against upper ground workers, OGWs. The ecosystem was targeted. The people who were within the government helping the terrorists and helping them, they were identified and removed. Many action against the separatist leaders.
Right.
Now all this in the wrath of investigating agencies focusing, seizing the properties, ill-gotten properties got out of hawala money, drugs, and all this all-out effort. The strong will of the government actually cracked the terrorist base. That is how the numbers started coming down drastically, and today you see the situation improving.
Definitely. Mr. Ved, do stay with us. Right now, we also have Lalit Ambardar joining us, Kashmiri activist who's joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Ambardar, thank you for speaking to us on CNN News 18. A very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Very firstly, I will also begin with this discussion with you on the same note. Do you think Jammu and Kashmir is ready, even in phases, for the AFSPA to be removed at this juncture?
See, as I follow the jihad conflict globally, and I see this Kashmir jihad has been part of the same Islamist arc that arises from Middle East, traverses Afghanistan, Pakistan. Kashmir is the Himalayan end of it. I don't see that Kashmir jihad has been vanquished. And there's a lot of jihadi investment in terms of men, equipment, ideology in Kashmir. And it's not so soon that we can claim victory over it. What I realize, what has been said just now also, we have a very strong security grid prevailing in Kashmir that's making difficult for the terrorists to target. But wherever they find the breach, they are still targeting. Hindus have been on the hit list and they continue to be killed in Kashmir. And they have also tried to reinvent themselves in south of Pir Panjal. You heard of the Poonch and Rajouri. They were not ambushes. They were daredevil, attacks on Indian security forces, knowing. I mean, it wasn't a sudden attack. They knew their security forces traveling on the highway and they attacked them. That is the kind of audacity they try to dominate the highway that way. So Kashmir jihad is intact, is being controlled, because what we are basically targeting after 5th of August 2019 is we are targeting the Islamofascist ecosystem that has been prevailing in Kashmir for 70 years, and that allowed Kashmir jihad to advance. So it will take time till you clean the whole ecosystem. As far as jihad is concerned, let me tell you, 7th of October last year, what Israelis suffered because they thought they are buying the loyalties of Hamas, Palestinian in Gaza, by pumping in dollars in trunks every month. The money used to travel from Qatar to Gaza to satiate the people of that place, to satiate the leaders of Hamas. And Israel was allowing thousands of Gazan Palestinians to cross over the border and work every day in Israel. And what they got on 7th October, it was complacency of Israeli people, government. And again, in Moscow, what you saw recently, Russian Putin never thought that ISI is going to, again, although they have suffered not less by these jihadi conflicts in jihadi attacks in Russia, but it was after a very long time that they have suffered, and they again thought they are even supporting Hamas. I mean, in fact, they are literally supporting Hamas in UN and every resolution, and yet ISIS did not spare there. So I think it's too early. It's too early to talk about removing this. AFPA is what? It's giving you a security cover, or it's giving us strengthening our security forces in battling the terrorists. And let me remind, when Pakistan had launched its Ghazwa, this Zarb-e-Azb in Pakistan, killing the terrorists, targeting terrorists there. You know what was said, explained by the senators of Pakistan, that what we are facing in North Waziristan is the battle-hardened jihadists who took the might of Indian army and Indian security forces in Kashmir. So Kashmir jihad is that what it is. Yes, we have a very tight security gate, and I think it's too early to claim that we're going to remove APA. APA, I think it's going to be. I don't think North Bloc should be acting so quickly on that. Yeah.
Right.